Hello, my name is Shadley and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 is Japan. In previous episode we started a war against Banja, which pulled in Russia, which turned into the Russo-Japanese war. And we are going to be winning that today, which means that we'll get Kamchatka, we'll get Vladivostok, as well as recognition to become a great power. And then we're going to see how far on the list we are in reality. We are number 2 worldwide in terms of the GDP. It's only Austria that is above us, and there's not that massive difference. I mean, there is a decent difference still, but we can easily catch up. Oh, wow. Investment pool is increasing a lot. Are we... Okay, I guess it might be time to increase our construction speed a bit. Oh, we're running out of pops in here. Okay, so in that case, we might want to start using some methods to save some workforce. To make sure that we got some unemployed in here to go for all of the things, and I suppose there's probably going to be a lot of immigration coming in here now. Well, at least a little bit. But I suppose at this stage we're going to stop auto-expanding some of these things. And we'll start building them elsewhere where we still have a lot of pops, like, well... Actually, we got a little bit in here. Plus we got... Oh, wow, this is running low as well. I suppose the warfare has been costing us a bit as well, to keep that in mind. But yeah, the available peasants is actually running a lot lower. We've got 17 million now. We had a lot more before, and of course, of those 17 million, not all of them are workers. But there we go, we're making 170,000 profit per week, and we still got the investment pool growing a lot as well. So I guess at this stage, we'll give this place a few extra construction sectors. It's not going to be on the top of the list here right now, because it's not really needed. It's only going to be a matter of a few weeks before we run through the whole production queue anyway. So we are basically out of morale in here, but we're still pushing the enemies back. But yeah, now the enemy are sinking a lot of our convoys, which is causing massive issues for us. Oh, there's another battle over here. Alright, well, hopefully for the next war that we have against the Russians or someone else from Europe is that we'll have a lot more ships, let's just say. Not really much better ships, but a lot more ships than what we have right now. We'll start expanding this one, actually. Give me a few levels at least. There's a lot of unemployed in here, actually. Oddly enough. Right, so the Russians are still losing about 2.7 per week. So they're still going to take about a year, most likely. At least. Well, maybe not quite that many. No, it's not going to be that many. But it's still going to be at least like 3 months. We'll discover in Lurisan. Alright. Not really a concern of ours, to be fair. Oh, and more attrition. So they sank a lot of convoys over here again. We're trying to catch the convoys, or the convoy raiders, but not with a lot of success, unfortunately. And the honorable restoration should be about, I don't know, a year away. I can't see the exact time there, unfortunately. Apparently gold depleted somewhere. But yeah, we got on... Oh. Right, there's just roads going through. No railways, then. Huh. Alright. Oh, actually, that reminds though. Do we have railways in here? I'm sure that we got some. Yeah, we got at least 2 levels there. And then in Laos, we could probably get a railway there just in case. Not necessarily something that would need particularly much. Oh, hello. Alright, we got such a massive income right now, especially since the interest rates have gone down a lot. Oh, are they actually sending in troops somewhere? Oh, yes, they are. Well, after this battle, we'll send troops over there. At the same time, I'm sure that they will surrender soon enough. So we just need to hold them back. Oh, and we'll run out of constructions again. Alright, let's figure out some more things that we can... Oh, we need to build, rather. So hardware is something... Fine arts, opium, coffee, oil. Oil is something that we definitely need. Now, is there... No, we can't get oil over there. We haven't found oil here yet. Probably just a matter of time, though. But I suppose at this stage we might have to start to... Well, I suppose we could build more things over here. An extra motor industry might not be a terrible idea. I'm sure that would at least be profitable. Furniture manufacturing, on the other hand, is something that we do need to increase a lot. So we'll give a few levels over there. Oh, there's plenty of room for this area still to expand. Okay, some of that paper is also something that we could probably increase. What else? Clothing industry? I'll check Textile is something that, yeah, we could probably increase that. A couple more levels there. Tooling workshop all over level 60 over here in Kansai. That is a massive production. There's 8,000 tools being produced right here. And the population over here is pretty massive as well, to be fair. Infrastructure is doing fine. Is the unused construction production? Yeah. Low market access. There's a lot of places with a little bit lowered access, but that's all the overseas possessions right now. And that's not too bad. We didn't actually set up all that many constructions to be built yet. Let's go ahead and... Is the farming something that would be profitable? It would be to some degree. I'll get another 20 over there. Maybe another 10 and 10, 5. We still got a decent... Ooh, actually. Running a little bit low on the farmable land over here. We'll just utilize all of it, I suppose. And then we could get some whaling stations. That would actually be a smart idea. Right, then we need to start working this one a bit more. Or building up this one a bit more. Right, a few more weeks and Russia should surrender. Are they attacking us yet? They haven't really arrived here yet. I think they'll arrive only after the war ends. Or right at the war ends, so we don't need to worry about that front. We're getting a bit more lead mines. Now we've got at least a lot of construction going. Getting a lot of money from the investment pool. Wow, the investment pool is still 47 million. My goodness, how much? Okay, we're good to... Oh, right, we reached the max innovation again. And the legitimacy isn't massive. We could probably start lowering the taxes, actually. Because we got such a massive income even during wartime. So if we can start improving the legitimacy to be above 75... Oh, there's another naval combat. Now, how bad is this one for us? This is actually going to be a victory. There we go. Show them who's boss. And one more week and Russian should surrender. And then we are recognized power. Or recognized nation. We're number 3 on the great powers list from the get-go. Okay, so who's above us? Italy and Austria. Now, there's quite a bit of difference in prestige right now, but I suppose once we start increasing GDP even further, and now that we are at peace, what we should do is we should switch all the infantry from barracks into proper stuff, and also start using some bicycle infantry. We'll put in the field hospitals as well. I don't know how many we can actually sort of supply, but we'll see. Probably going to be a lot of expenditure, to be fair, and the price for opium is going to be massive. At least we got a little bit in here that we can utilize. I suppose, technically speaking, we could get rid of the livestock ranches and build more opium farms. Those will probably be very profitable. And the standard of living is now 15.2, so that's starting to grow quite nicely as well. I suppose we are slowly running out of peasants to utilize, so that kind of makes us to make more profitability from each worker rather than just utilize all the workers. Right, so over here at the textile mill, we'll probably use mechanized looms. That would reduce the workforce need by 25,000. Coal mine, we could start using this rail transportation. We've got a lot of transportation available, and that's going to reduce the cost of running that a lot. A good vintage. Ooh, 5% prestige for 5 years. Or for 5 years wine output. There's not that much. I'm just going to take the prestige, quite frankly. And with the army power protection, that should mean, yeah, we've got it. Actually, what are we leading producer in? Luxury clothing, rubber, oil, gold, groceries, paper, sugar, fish, wood. Okay, that's about it. Oh, right, so let's have a look at the stuff that we got from the Russians. So, over here, there's no port or anything. Let's just build a port in Vladivostok to get started on that. And then Kamchatka, it's going to need a port as well. It's got a railway. We'll put in the steel passenger carriers, probably. Doesn't have a lot else. I mean, we could get a couple logging camps in there, I suppose. In addition. And then I suppose the livestock ranches will be okay at some point. But there we go. We got a little bit more territory in here. And I suppose in our next war against Jing, we'll have a land front already. We could probably take like Outer Manchuria and Southern Manchuria from them, for example. And then also we need to take some land from Korea. But now that we've got... Well, we'll need to wait for a year or so before we start or increasing... Or rather expanding again, not increasing. Because, well, we just switched the troops. Civilizing mission done. Excellent. So what are we actually spreading right now? We are getting destroyers, electric arc process, and human rights. Alright. So that would be a lot more steel production, to be fair. So that is something that we should probably strive for after the electrical capacitors. Ooh, actually, that reminds me. Another thing that we could easily do over here is get another power plant in Kanto, for example. Give that a few levels. Make sure that it's using the coal-fired plants. So that's going to give us a lot more electricity if and when we need it. And since the investment pool is increasing, so... Oh, embargo from Jing, alright. Let's go ahead and give this a few more levels for the construction sector. But I suppose over here well, I suppose it doesn't hurt having them in here. It's still gonna be okay for the global stuff. And there is actually a little bit unemployment now in this state. There's also a lot of plantations and such that we could set up. Like, let's get some tea and dye plantations running. We could probably use at least the transportation to reduce the workforce needed. Also, same for the sulfur mines, we can reduce the workforce there needed a lot. Of course, that does all mean that... Oh, hey, we got more lawless now than what we have radicals. Good, the radicals are going down drastically. I mean, the lower taxes mean that the loyalists will be increasing much faster and the radicals will be going down a lot faster. So that's all good. Oh, plastic production completed. The switch to plastic in our glassworks is set to revolutionize the industry. Glassworks building throughput increases by 1/3 for 5 years. Or we should spread this knowledge. I'm not going to give that knowledge to the Russians. I'll just increase my GDP, which is already 360 million. That's not bad, and GDP per capita is £6, so that's number 10 worldwide. So, you know, it's okay. Population is 60 million, so that's also been growing quite nicely. There's a... Oh, Uluru is having a revolution. Great Qing is embargoing us again. Right, so if we wanted to expand over here into New South Wales, we could probably do that, taking Northern Territories or something. There's not a lot of pops in there, and quite frankly, we're still not quite ready for another war. But at least we are pretty much out of the debt right now, so we've got 3 million that we need to pay off, but that's going to be half a year and it's going to be done. More or less. And our prestige is now over 3,000, so that's coming along quite nicely. And is the... Actually, is the ruler popular at all? I don't... Let's have a look. What is your popularity? It's neutral, it's -10. But, you know, it's slightly better than what it used to be. And it's the... Oh, we are back at our full innovation again. Right, well, at least it's 2 weeks for the electrical capacitors. That's an easy way to gauge things, at least. So are we getting the... Oh, yeah, we are building more construction sectors over here. Although this place is also running a little bit low on pops, so let's go ahead and start using some harvesting tools over here. That's going to reduce the workforce need for the rice farming a lot. Logging camps, we got already quite a bit of things in here. There we go, electrical capacitors. So now let's get the electric arc process. So electrical capacitors, that was, especially the chemical blend, that's going to be really important. It's going to be a little bit less fertilizer, which is fine because the price is still going to be fairly low, but the amount of explosives is going to be massive, although the amount of electricity used is also going to be quite significant. And that is also having a bit of a lack of workers in there, actually. If we were to put in the steam donkey for the sulfur mines, for example, that would free up another 38,000 workers in here. It's probably not a bad idea. We've got a decent bit of bureaucracy as well, actually. Right, so we're running a little bit low on stuff on the construction queue, so let's have a look at the... So more hardwood and opium. We can't have any... Oh, dyes is something we need a lot more. I'm going to build another 50 over here. And let's start using the rail transportation over here as well, so that's reducing the workforce needed there by 50. Raising concerns. Oh, the peasants would still be happy enough. Industrialists are 17, so we could potentially address that. And make sure that the peasants are a little bit happy. Oh, there we go. So that increases the infrastructure by 10%. Which means that a lot more areas are going to have proper market access. The biggest problem that we have in that regard is actually Western Australia. Now, it's mostly just a matter of getting the people work at the railway, which isn't going all that strong. If you put in publicly traded, that means more capitalists. So actually, the amount of people needed for the stuff in here is slightly less. And Jing is embargoing and breaking the embargo, embargoing and breaking the embargo constantly. It looks like the iron situation is pretty good. We've got a lot of grain that we could probably sell. Let's sell some of that to the Austrian market. Get some tariffs that way. We're getting 45,000 tariffs to be fair, and minting is almost 300,000 per week. Oh man, that is a pretty good income, I would say. And the construction costs is pretty much entirely covered. Oh wow. Invested for almost 50 million. We need to increase our constructions a lot. So that's going to be a lot of things. So, but that of course then means that we need to have a lot more things being constructed. So that's... oh. Right, Ryukyu Islands is something we haven't focused too much. Is this one... Got plenty of infrastructure. We're going to get some tobacco plantations in here. Or tea plantations or something. Another fishing is something that we can easily do. Let's get the tobacco plantations as well. It's no doubt going to be used by the population, and standard of living is now growing a lot. 16.0. So that's a good trajectory there for sure. And the shipyard, well, there's not a lot of things that we can do over here to reduce the workforce needed in a lot of these workplaces. Admittedly, but at least the logging camp we could get the steam donkey there. And then we got some plantations we could start using the rail transportation. Let's also get the automated irrigation. So the dye price is going to start dropping a lot, which means that the production of the clothing is going to be a lot less. And there is a decent bit of radicals in our home territories now as well, but I suppose those numbers are actually going down a little bit. There's also a lot of loyalists in many of those places. Infamy is slowly dropping, but how good is the military now? Like, how close are we being done? 4 more months are we good to, so we could almost start another war soon. And that would be something that we'll probably win quite easily. Do we have... How many battalions can we actually raise from Indonesia right now? Not Indochina, but Indonesia. So we've got 10 in there. We also got 10 in Japan. So if we were to get another, I don't know, 10 somewhere, we'll just have to... Probably capital is going to be the best location for that. That at least has a lot of people living in there. Looks like the... Oh, right. More interests. Oh, we only got 8 total. I mean, I suppose we got these two covered now. We'll put one in Central America. We'll put in the one in Rhine back again. We'll put in Poland, Baltic. We'll put in England and France as well. And then maybe Italy and the Balkans. That's going to cover a lot of lands, and we could do a lot of trading with various nations then. Oh, right, that's all the dye plantations right now. That might increase the production of dyes a little bit too much, perhaps, but we'll see. So how are we doing into textile mills over here? We could probably give this another 10 levels or so. Tooling workshop is also something that needs a bit more levels, which we are working on. I suppose we'll just give it another 10 levels there. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be fully profitable. I suppose we could actually, well, if we were to put in that one, that's actually going to increase the cost a little bit. The paper mills... Well, I mean, we don't necessarily need to reduce the workforce there. Although over here, is there anything else that we could reduce the workforce in? I mean, we've got 9... Oh, right, that reminds me. Electric sewing machines. It's actually going to be a little bit less money. The workforce is going to stay the same in terms of numbers, but it's a bit more educated, which I suppose means the standard of living is going to start increasing because they paid more. Tool price is going to increase a little bit. We'll use a bit more dyes, but we've got a lot of dyes available. I suppose if we were to do that same over here, how massive an increase is that going to be? It's going to be losing us a lot of money, actually. Right now, at least according to the estimation, but the extra clothing is going to be 1,600. That's not bad. Now we've got a lot of the construction sectors being built, so the construction speed is going to have a bit of an explosion again. I don't suppose there's anything in the Art Academy. No, we don't have the film stuff yet. No, well, let's wait for the Honorable Restoration. Oh, what's this then? Oh, Communist Cracker. Okay, I'm just going to declare neutrality on that one. Is there any more trade routes that we could do for good money? I mean, now we've got a lot of clothing that we could maybe sell. We've got some iron as well. We've got some wood. Let's have a look. Is there... Italy wants a lot of wood, actually. Sure. It's going to give us a bit of tariffs. Oh, and this place is having a bit of a problem with infrastructure now. Alright, give it another few railways there for sure. Just double checking. It is using the steel passenger carriages already. The open centers, is there something that I could do? We could reduce the workforce over here, actually. So that's gonna free up some... Actually, that's something that I should probably do over here as well. We've got so many levels on that. Oh, right, we needed to get the electric lighting in all of our states. Right, that's going to be a bit expensive. Also, a lot of services available from there, so it's not really too bad of an idea. But is there... Well, I suppose there's the rice farms. If we were to put in the steam-powered treasure machines, the tool price is going to go up a lot. Coal price is going to go up a lot, but the amount of labor is needed over here would drop drastically. On the other hand, there might be some other things that we could do a bit cheaper, like that one. And then the tobacco... And maybe the... Well, I suppose I'll do that for all of these, for now. I suppose for the livestock, we just use the barbed wire for now. That frees up a lot of workforce in there. Of course, it does mean that's probably going to be a little bit more radicals because, you know, people losing jobs and all that. But it'll be probably fine. So now we need to properly industrialize because we're running out of workforce. Suppose we could get another level over there. Although, well, I don't know if it's the best course of action right now. Getting a lot of the tooling workshops now. I mean, our capital is still one of the few places that has a lot of peasants. And the population over here is probably it's 40 million already. It's growing 150,000 just from the pop growth. And the migration is bringing another 60,000 per year. So, yeah, that's about 215,000 annually growth there. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Still making pretty good money. We got still a tiny bit of credit that we need to pay back. But the interest per week is basically nothing. Let's be honest. And electric arc process is going to be done soon. I think what we might need to do is... Oh, yeah, there we go. So, some peasants are in Kyushu again. Let's give a few more levels of the power plant in here. The motor or the engine prices are starting to be pretty high, though. So we'll need to build a few more of those. And then over here we are getting the power plants built as well. So that is going to reduce the power price at least a little bit. But I suppose after the electric capacitors will... Or the electric arc process, rather. We'll get the electric railways, because that's a really easy way to get a lot of engines produced again. And also makes producing the electricity slightly cheaper. But the honorable restoration is about to happen, so we'll wait for that before we do any more wars. But then we could maybe do a war against Jing, and at that point we don't need to worry about infantry too much, because we've got the trench infantry. It'll be able to defend against most people. Did we... Oh, inefficient agriculture. Right. Yeah, we'll get a bit more... Although, Chukoku, was that? Over here, right, yeah, we can get a bit more immigration there. There we go, electric arc process. Now let's get the electric railways underway, and then electric arc process. So we got the steel mills over here. We could actually reduce the workforce needed there a little bit, and then if we put in the electric arc process, it's going to increase the... Actually, it's not going to increase the coal use at all. It's going to increase the electricity use quite a bit, and a little bit more iron. But the amount of steel that we produce in there now is going to be quite high. Although it doesn't seem to be very profitable right now, because a lot of these things are fairly expensive and the steel is not all that expensive at this moment. Oh, there's a lot of demand for regulatory bodies. Now, admittedly, the industrialists would not like that. So we're probably going to avoid that for the time being. But hey, we're number 2 in Great Powers list now. So we've surpassed Italy. And in terms of GDP, we should be pretty close to Austria. Yeah, we're just... like 8 million behind. Oh, right. All of that construction has been done now. Right. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a bit more government administration again. Actually, do we have decisions? We could serve at Panama Isthmus. Oh, right. All of these are very expensive. This skyscraper site is probably a good idea to start building. We'll need to build a lot more government administration, to be fair. So we'll start spreading them out again a little bit. Just to get the bureaucracy back. And then Tohoku is mostly mining area, which, to be fair, there's still a little bit more mining that we could expand there, mainly the lead, which, to be fair, isn't very high in cost. We could maybe get some tooling workshop over here, actually. That might be very profitable in here. Oh, yes. Get a few levels, and also make sure to get a few more railways, because I'm sure that we'll need some of that. And a few ports. So do we have another 20 battalions in... Japan? We do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to promote one of these generals. Probably the defensive strategy, actually. We'll promote that a little bit higher, so we'll have that done. And it's not quite enough to cover all of the construction, actually. Right, well, that's a little bit low on pops over here. We could maybe build another coal mine over there. And the logging camp is already doing pretty much as it can. We're losing a lot of money thanks to the lack of taxation right now. But I'm sure that the people won't mind that. Well, maybe they do, but we just don't get the money out of it, so it won't be benefiting us for the time being. Do we have... we got a little bit extra pops in Malaya, actually. Let's get a couple of rubber plantations there. Then over here we could also get a few of them. That'll be a bit more construction, at least. There we go. Authority is back on the positive. And the bureaucracy... There's a decent bit of tax waste in there. There we go. Honorable restoration. The Meiji restoration. The Shogun has fallen from power, and the Shogun Meiji has restored the political primacy of the monarchy. This momentous occasion marks the end of the century of shogunate rule in the Japanese shogunate, and heralds a new era of modernization and reform. The Shogun must choose his political allies carefully. Industrial might will see us through. So industrialists get favored by the Emperor for 5 years. What does that mean? 20% intergroup political strength. Okay. 20%. Oh right, so that's listed there. Japanese capital state moves to Kanto. Shogunate interest group is renamed to the landowners. Adds restoration. Introduces Japan to the Journal of Japanese Shogunate. Keiichi Kotoko is the leader of the Shogunate faction. And the fall of the samurai. Or we must look to the intellectuals. I think since our ruler is... Oh, hello. Okay, he's part of the industrialist now, so we'll go with the industrialist then, I suppose. Unfortunately, our capital is now moved. The fall of the samurai. What is Bakufu? Oh, it's the serfdom and all that. Monarchy. Autocracy. We'll let them keep their status as officers and nobles. Bit of a remnant of the old times. Oh, right, so there's one more event, I suppose, that will trigger soon enough. But until we fix the bureaucracy issue, we probably shouldn't be starting a new war quite yet. There we go, we are a bit different colour now. A nice red colour, which is going to be hard to distinguish from the British, to be fair. I suppose if we were to do a quick war against the Dutch East Indies, who would join on their side? So if we were to start with the Western Borneo... where's Western Borneo? There you are. There might be some people joining in, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's 6 infamy, so that's not too bad. I'll send in one of the armies. For example, that one. We'll see how it goes. We'll probably start building up some barracks in Indonesia again, just to increase the stuff there to some degree. We've got 100 battalions from Japan still. Oh, right, yeah, we did have some other fronts, didn't we? Sumatra, for example. Let's send in an army there. And then we got another offensive plan over here. That could be part of the... Oh, right, yeah, we got that in here. Thought I was sending you in a offensive mission, to be fair. Let's go and clear out Celebes. So Celebes is going to be another one that we'll want to get out of this, if we can. Is there actually... Sunda Islands is something that we can ask them to return to me. There's not that much infamy for that. And then Conquer State... Celebes, that's only 6 infamy. So that would give us a lot of land already. What about other areas that we could try to take? Northern Sumatra, for example, that's 9 infamy. Does that leaves us with 46 maneuver still. Not bad. Oh, France had a revolution. And one of the sides has now been annexed. We'll mobilize the last bit of army over here. I suppose this could be in the Sunda Islands. So they are fearful. I'm hoping that they bring in someone strong, actually. So that there will be a war, and then we're going to take all of this. Otherwise, we're just going to get Borneo, and then a lot of the infamy is lowered again, which isn't really the worst, but it's not what I'm looking to do here. Oh, there we go. Spain sides with them. Now, will Spain actually stay in there? Or will they still give up because they are still fearful? They might still give up. A lot depends where the Spanish send their troops, I suppose. Oh, right. So what I should probably do with my fleets... speaking of which, we do have 3 fleets. Good. So this one is going to escort convoys going into Indonesia. And then we'll have... well, you're currently in Japan, so you could be doing raiding over there. And then we got one more that could be doing escort convoys into Indochina or something. Right, so losing 150,000 per week right now, which is not great. I mean, I suppose a lot of that is the administration centers being built right now. Once those are completed, the tax income is going to start increasing again. And then the investment pool transfers could, in theory, increase, although right now we're not getting all that much of it. As the food industry is still probably fairly profitable, actually. Well, it doesn't... The estimation is that it's not profitable, I suppose. Oh, right, and now that we've got our capital over here, there's some unemployed in here, but no peasants. Let's get the rail transportation going in the silk plantations. And that one is already getting all the things. We could maybe make sure that the power plant can increase in size a bit. Working on the electric railways. Is it actually... No, that's not what's spreading. It's the automatic bottle blowers that is spreading, which is actually not necessarily a bad idea. There's a lot of glassworks that we have. And now that we're running a little bit low on population, that's something that we kind of need to look into. Now, of course, if we were to take some land from China, we'd probably get a lot of population from there, or even Korea. There should be pretty, yeah, fairly high population. Well, I suppose it might actually be better for us to take first land from Jing over here, like outer and southern Manchuria, maybe even get up to Xinjiang, and then if we do a war against... Actually, I don't think we can do a war against Korea directly, can we? No, we cannot. We're going to ask them to release Korea, and then we're going to do a war against them. Right, so the question is, are they actually going to be fighting this war or not? Can we add in any more war goals without going above the limit? Alger is something that we could... No, we can't. New Guinea, on the other hand, Eastern New Guinea to be precise, we could actually try to take. Without going above 100 infamy quite yet. We're going to get there soon. But right now, we're just going to hold off on that one, let's just say. Oh, man, there's a lot of groups that are very loyal right now. Damn. Oh, the trade unions want a presidential republic. That's not going to happen, pal. Ah, I'd rather say Shinto. We could go with the Shinto, I suppose. Although that means that, well, might mean a bit more problems, but now it's Shinto monks. And those are now a little bit happier. I wonder, actually, if we have a look at our cultures, or I suppose population, detailed list, well, actually, no, over here, religion. It's mostly Buddhist. There's 25 million Shintos, to be fair. Oh no, that's political strength. Right, so Shinto is 12 million and Buddhists are 42 million. I'm hoping that we can start increasing that a little bit. But that wasn't part of the Meiji restoration stuff. Oh, we could hold the Grand Exhibition. Wonders, the more technologies you have to show, the more successful the exhibition will be. Okay, all discover in Sakhalin. Oh. So they have. Good. Right, the coal mine, those are already using all the things that they can to make it, or keep things somewhat profitable. I've still got a lot of room for various farms, for example, over here. Let's give them a few rice farms and tobacco plantations. Maybe we'll get a couple of livestock farms as well. And more tea is always nice. Maybe we'll get a bit of cotton as well. We'll get some extra farms there, and that's a... Oh, right, we need a lot more construction going, actually. Right, so there's not much over here that we can do. We've got 1,200 construction speed right now. That's massive. Well, I've seen it be larger, to be fair, but it's pretty good overall. But actually, I do realize that we are over time for this episode. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.